All right. So let's talk about limiters. Limiters are related to my compressors that we just talked about. The main difference that I'm going to highlight between a limiter and a compressor is, well, let me back up. A limiter also reduces the dynamic range, right? And so you can think of it as a type of a compressor. But like I was about to say there, the main difference is the ratio. A limiter has a higher ratio than a compressor. And I'll even go so far as to throw these numbers at you because I'm not afraid to use numbers. Compressors, the ratio is 3-to-1. Limiters, the ratio is 20-to-1. Now, the real teacher in me thinks anything above 20-to-1 is going to be classified a limiter. Compressors, you can certainly compress below 3-to-1. You can compress 6-to-1 is still something that you might be doing and have it sound okay. Then I guess there's this sort of twilight zone kind of between 10-to-1 and 20-to-1 where it's probably just going to sound bad or not really compress, right? Anyway, and then I threw a couple examples of things that you might use. Do you want to use the compressor? Do you want to use a limiter? So if it is something like a vocal and it's got a loud chorus and a quiet verse and you want to keep it on the same track but process it, that's where you use a compressor, right? You can set the ratio at like 3-to-1 and bring it down to a point where maybe it's not even compressing the verse at all, right? But it's compressing the chorus, right? We've all heard lots and lots of songs where, right, they're whispering the verses and screaming the choruses, but it's not the difference, the dynamic range is much smaller. Okay. If you want to raise the level of your whole mix, that is something you do with a limiter. Put the limiter at the very end of the signal chain. Make it make it the last thing on your master fader. If you're using Pro Tools, the last thing in whatever DAW you're in. Put the limiter to raise the volume of the mix. I want to talk about dither, right? But now dither is incorporated in any limiter. It's going to have a button somewhere that says dither. So if you are converting from a higher bit resolution to a lower bit resolution, make sure you hit the button that says dither. Okay, now in a more live situation or even in a studio, if you want to make sure that you are not going to blow out your speakers, you're also going to use a limiter. So it's a little bit different. It's not musical at that point. It's just trying to save your speakers. Okay, so thank you for your time, and have a wonderful evening.